feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got a taste for blood and my tongue keeps bleeding from the words I spit. So sharp, so freezing, so cold. Behold, frostbite they feeling. I could tear you apart or I could go heal them. Don't believe in fate, don't believe in ceilings. I just need a taste and my mind starts peeling. I don't pace myself, I grind on kneeling. Got lust for change, I just love the feeling. I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. And I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. Cause I'ma live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I don't lie at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time, and I'll soon be winning. I live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I don't lie at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time, and I'll soon be winning. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mr. Riley coming to you live from the West Coast, the best coast, the West Side. And welcome to another edition of This Week in Pali Football. As I regularly do, I just want to make sure that we are live and the sound is sounding good and all that kind of good stuff. So welcome to the show. Absolutely. Okay, I can hear myself. So let's go ahead and get into it, man. We had a wonderful game this past Friday at El Camino Real, my alma mater. As you might have heard on the broadcast, man, it was just so cool being there. I've always wanted to have Pali play against my former high school, and so for me it was kind of like a homecoming of a sort, because when I was there as a student, class of 1986, we were unable to have football games at or inside on our campus. And so something with the community and not wanting lights. But several years ago, they were able to install some lights, and now they're playing night games at El Camino Real. And so it was just great to be back on my campus, and I even reunited with some of my high school classmates. So we're super, super dope, and I've always wanted that experience ever since my boys started playing high school football. So other than that, let's go ahead and welcome a couple of folks. Let me see. We have Coach Smith. Go ahead, Coach Smith. Say hello to the people.
Hello, everybody.
And we got Mr. Devron Kearney. He says 4-0, stay focused, one opponent at a time, hard work and dedication. Absolutely, sir. Thank you for being here, man. We just had a wonderful start. How you feeling today, Coach?
Feeling good. Had a good workout today at the beach. A little exhausted, but it was a good Monday.
You know what? I saw that. I took a little nap when I got home. I took a little nap, and when I woke up, man, I had all these Instagram messages, and so I was just like, okay, what's going on? So I was just checking the IG, and man, it was just blowing up, and I saw the folks, you guys out on the beach having a good time. It's not the football field, but it's a workout nonetheless. So tell us a little bit more about you guys working out on the beach, and how did that come to pass?
Well, we lost our field at UCLA. They started their school, so we needed another field. We've been looking around, and we didn't have one for Monday. So, I was like, well, let's just go to the beach. It's right down the street. We can get a good workout in. And I think it's good for the kids to kind of get away from, the football field and just work out. Also, I think we need to do a little bit of strength conditioning, and I think the beach, the soft sand, working out there is kind of a better alternative than doing 100 push-ups or whatever. So, we really got a good workout in with all the kids, and they were exhausted by the end of the workout for about an hour, and they all jumped in the beach and in the water and cooled off. So it was a good time, and I think it was good camaraderie as well. Anytime you go to the beach, you have the opportunity to go to the beach, but a lot of teams don't get that opportunity. It was good for us.
Yeah, I thought it was super dope. Really, man, I probably had at least 10 notifications about about the practice and workout today. I saw one of the parents, they posted the boys running into the water.
Yeah.
From, I guess the parent was on the pier, and so just to see the boys kind of run out like little ants and hop in the water was super great. And now, was that something that you had in mind, or did one of your other coaches come up with the idea to have the kids working on the beach today?
That was my idea. Like I said, we didn't have a workout for Monday, and the field we had was just, wasn't usable. I just said, yeah, let's just go to the beach and let's do that for the next couple Mondays. And like I said, I think it'd be good for the kids. We don't usually Mondays a lighter workout or practice for us anyway. So I figured if we take this Monday to kind of do something different, and I'm actually thinking about doing it more often. So yeah, that was my idea, and I think it came out well.
Absolutely. Let me go ahead and give you a shout out real quick with the air horn. Being able to run out on the beach and do something different, like you said, because of our situation, not the field being in limbo, practice field being in limbo, man, you got a wonderful opportunity to use Mother Nature as a way to strengthen and condition the boys prior to their football game this coming Friday. So super dope, and I'm sure they were very, very excited and happy.
Yeah, yeah,
Absolutely.
they're gonna be tired tonight, but they were excited though.
As they should be. So Coach, you might have kind of, peeped out my segments. I did mention it in the green room prior to going. So we'll do something in segments instead of just me kind of rambling. I kind of use it to keep me organized. So that was the opening kickoff. And so let's go ahead and hop into the Friday night recap if we can. Let's see if I can find it. Yes, here we go. All right. So Friday night. We played El Camino Real, like I said in my opening statements. Always wanted to have Pali play my former high school football team, and so it was a great night. What did you think about the mindset of the boys prior to hopping on the field and playing that football game?
Uh, you know, Honestly, we didn't have a good week of practice. Thursday was kind of, a little dead. Honestly, that was my fault. This is supposed to be our bye week, and so I kind of want to use this as the bye week. So practice is a little lighter. We didn't go as hard this week, so the energy was low. Just because of that. We were hoping to get more guys into the game just to rest guys. Our plan is to be playing another 9 games, so that's a whole another season. We're planning on. So we want to give guys rest. We want to give other guys opportunities. So it really wasn't the best week of practice, but we came out strong. Scored right away on our first drive. I think we scored every possession up until the fourth quarter. We didn't have a lot of possessions. I think we had like 16 minutes with the football this game. I think we only ran like 39 plays, but so we got out ahead pretty quickly, and we're able to get other guys in, get other guys rest. So there was good and bad this week. As long as we get the win, I'm happy about that. But I think come this week, starting tomorrow, when we're back to full practice, there'll be a better focus and more energy.
Yeah, when I got there, when I got to the football game, you guys had already started because traffic for me was crazy. I mean, I left here, I thought in early enough time to get here, and it's just the traffic was crazy. At one point, my GPS said I would get there at 7:23, and I'm like, come on! But I was able to. I think I got there shortly after you guys scored your first touchdown. Now, who scored the first touchdown for you guys on that opening drive against El Camino?
I believe it was King. I
Okay.
think Jack threw it to King.
Yeah, so I mean, and they hooked up several times throughout the game. So let's go ahead and hop into the stats if we can. And I have them put up here courtesy of MaxPreps. So you see the final score, 35-18 against the Royals. When I went to school there, they were known as the Conquistadors. But it is what it is. And you see the scoring by quarter. You guys came out hot in quarters 1 and 2, kind of cooled down in 3, and really cooled off in number 4. To your point, because I know you were trying to get people in there, not trying to play everybody the whole game.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Coach.
Yeah, no, it was good to see, Holden get in and Robert get in, our backup QBs. We're very thin offensively as far as the receivers goes. But Mikey played some. Go got a catch, finally his first varsity catch. So it was good to see him get in and get some action. And, Matias played a little bit more than usual. So we're trying to get as many guys in as possible.
And then also, we could talk about the scoring, because, I think you guys had one 93-yard. If my math is mathing correctly, I think you guys had maybe a 93-yard pass and catch. And I think that was Jack the King, correct?
Yeah, it was 93 or 90, something like that, 96, something like that,
yeah. Yeah. So you guys were on it, and, there was really no need to play some of your starters after well into the third quarter as you guys got into it. I think I'm not too sure if Jack started the third quarter or if you had somebody else come out at that point. Do you remember?
He started the third quarter. I think fourth quarter is when Holden and Robert played.
Absolutely. So you can see if you guys are watching the feed, you see the scoring right there, 35, which equates to 5 touchdowns. And then they were able to get 10 points on the board. What do you think was the biggest motivation for your boys to kind of get out there after it at El Camino? What do you think was your biggest motivation on offense and then also on defense? Because you had some defensive guys out there who were doing some good stuff.
Yeah, offensively, I told him, there's a lot of teams that can't stop us, and the Granada game we scored on every possession, and obviously Brentwood was a little different, but we wanted to get back to that, that streak of not being able to be stopped on offense. So, we were starting. We had a good 3 quarters of not being stopped, and then our backups came in. We had to punt the ball a couple times, but. I think they're just motivated by that stat. They think that once we're on the field, we should be able to score every time, and that's what motivates them. And really, we all have that same mentality. Like, there's nobody that can stop us on offense. Let's score every time we touch the ball. And defensively, I think they're just, they were tired of giving up 35 points a game, and I think they really just, they're tired of the offense having to, carry them and hearing that. So I think they just came out and they were focused and ready to, kind of shut down the rumors that we're not a good defense and show everybody how good we can really be. And Enzo stepped up. He was defensive player of the game. I think he had over 10 tackles. I can't remember. Somebody else had almost 10 tackles.
Yeah, I think it was Augie.
Oh, yes, Augie, yeah. So he had a great game, and so it was good to see, other people step up. The first couple of games, Skyler has been our main tackler, and now it's really good to see, somebody else step up and make tackles and make plays on defense.
Yeah, I thought it was a wonderful game, and I didn't realize Augie was, in there on defense, until it was like, yeah, go Augie. I'm like, what? Augie's back. So I know he had his, he was injured for a little bit. He had his hand in a cast, and so I was really shocked to see that, he was out there first of all, and then to see and read that he had, almost 11 tackles. That was super, super nice for him to come out there and contribute after being out a couple of games due to injury.
He was at the Brentwood game. He had a good game against Brentwood.
Okay.
Yeah, he had a sack and a couple tackles for loss. But yeah, he was in every tackle. He was making it hard for the quarterback to really scramble or make any throws without somebody in his face. So he was causing havoc a lot on defense on Friday. And like I said, Enzo making a lot of tackles. And every time you look up, 13-5 were around the ball. So, hopefully, 2 other people or 3 other people can step up and, do the same.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I'm trying to look at the box scores for you guys, and let me see. Hold on, to me. Oh, okay, here we go. So I do have some stats here. Let me just go over some of these stats real quick before we run out of time in this section of the show. So we have just some of our offensive stats right here. So you can see Jack Thomas, 13 for 16, 310 yards. That deserves this right here. I mean, that's crazy right there. I mean, 16 times, 16 attempts, and you get the ball out there 13 times. That's super nice. 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. And then you look at rushing. Um, you got Devron Kearney, who was rushing doing his thing for 25. And then you have Holden Hurst and Jack Thomas, negative yards for rushing. And then you have Harrison Carter for 10. Um, and then just receiving wise, we talked about King Demetrius. Look at this stat: three receptions for 139 yards, and we know most of that was on the 93-yard pass and catch. So that was super dope, man. I mean, you guys were firing on all cylinders. Harrison Carter 6 for 44. DeMar DeZern 4 for 96. So it was a well played game. Malachi got a touchdown, 1 for 12 with one touchdown. And then Harrison Carter 6 for 44 with one touchdown. So you guys are all over the field doing what you need to do, and you came out with the victory. And most importantly, you're 4-0. How do you feel? You have one more non-league game, and we'll talk about that in a few segments. But how do you feel right now about your chances? 4-0. You know the situation. How good does it feel to be undefeated so far in the season?
If you never want to lose a game, so obviously always feels good to be undefeated. This is my first 4-0 start to a season since I've been here, so that's something I pride myself on, and always winning the game, obviously, but starting season 4-0 is always a good accomplishment. My main goal is being 4-0 in the playoffs. For 4-0 in the playoffs, that's a championship. So we could be 4-0 in the regular season. We could be 4-0 in league, but if we're not 4-0 in the playoffs, all this doesn't really matter. So we just got to continue to get better each week. One more non-league game, and then we got league. Our league is going to be, out to get us. Venice is going to be looking to repeat as champions. So we have to avenge that loss from last year. And then, if we get a high seed in the playoffs, of course, all those teams are going to want to knock us out. So every game for us is going to be a tough game, and we just have to stay focused. Like I said, get better each week, and we have to be on top of our game no matter who we play.
Yeah, and then I just wanted to share as we wrap up this segment right here. Just wanted to share, since we're talking about the offense, you can't leave out the defense because there are three phases to the game: offense, defense, and special teams. And so, shout out to what we were talking about earlier in terms of our defensive players just doing what they need to do. Augie had 2 solos, nine assists, and then Enzo Allen, he had 8 and 3 assists, so 11 tackles total. And so yeah, it was just a good all around effort by the boys on defense doing what their thing. And then also shout out to the special teams, especially our PATs. We got all 5 of them without any problems, so that was super nice as well. Tell me the kicker's name again, Coach.
Carter Swartz.
Okay, there you go. So shout out to Carter. Definitely don't want to leave him out, and he was there doing his thing, and so happy for him to be on our squad. All right, so Coach, let's leave the Friday night recap, and let's go over to what I'm calling the spotlight. The Dolphin players who were kind of doing their thing on the field, and so let's see. Bow. And so I know we have. There were several students selected to be the Max Players of the Week. Do you know them offhand?
Yeah, overall was Jack Thomas. 13 for 16 and
Yeah.
300 yards.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, you can't beat that. And he had two amazing runs. It looked like Johnny Manziel and Frank Tarkenton and all those guys all roll up in one. So now he was just making plays all over the place. And then King Demetrius was offensive player of the game with 3 catches, 136 yards. I mean, he had a great catch with a
Yeah.
30 yarder and over 2 people. So he was offensive player of the game. And then Carter Schwartz got special teams player of the game again. And Enzo Allen was a defensive player of the game with his tackles. And even not just the stats, not just the tackles, just the way he impacted the game overall. And he was really all over the place and making things happen and turning guys inside for his teammates and putting pressure on other people, on the quarterback and everything. So just overall defensive game, Enzo really balled out.
Yeah, I mean, his other brother played last year, Cash Allen played last year. So it took me a hot second to realize that Enzo was on the team. Like, oh, we got another Allen on the team. And so that was, super nice because, yeah, he was kind of hyped at getting some of his tackles and just his celebratory mode after, I remember one tackle in particular, he was very, very hyped. Yeah. But I want to go back because you just brought to my mind during the game, there was a point in the first half when I think you guys were near the south end of the end zone. And, it kind of got a little chippy there because I heard some comments from the stands. I think I know, you know where I'm going, right?
I think so.
Yeah. So, I think it was a timeout or something. And someone said from the stands, "Run the ball." And I was just like, whoa, okay. Yeah, we kind of intimate so we can hear the stuff. And then you turned around like automatically and said, "We are running the ball," right? And then right after the next snap, Jack was looking. He didn't find any receivers. But, man, he ran 20 yards to get a touch. It seemed like, it was like maybe first and 15 or 15. You guys were 15 yards from the goal. But, man, he ran about 25 yards to get that touchdown. How do you feel? I mean, what was your reaction after he scored that touchdown, being yelled at by someone from the stands who run the ball?
My reaction was we called a run, and he kept it, and then he ran it in. So, there's plays where the quarterback has a run pass option, depending on what the defense is giving us, and
yeah,
I was looking at the stats. We threw the ball 16 times, ran the ball 14 times. So, looking back, just put it in perspective. And if you go back and look at time of possession, how many plays our offense runs, we don't get a lot of plays at all. This game, we only got 39 plays. Time of possession was 16 minutes. So that's, double. That's half of what, the other team gets. And, if sometimes we'll score in 3 plays, sometimes we'll score in 4 plays. So, we're a quick hitting offense, and we have a lot of kids that can touch the ball and, make plays and explosive. So, we try to spread the ball around. We take what the defense gives us. If they're playing 7 guys in the box, we're going to change it and throw the ball. If there's 5 in the box, we'll run the ball. So a lot of teams don't want us to run the ball on them, so we pass. If they take away the pass, we'll run. It's just, it's just one of those things where we have a quarterback that can read the defense. But, we try to run the ball. We try to be balanced as much as possible. And, if you see the stats this last game, we're literally balanced. We were 49% on what we did. So,
yeah.
We just try to put the ball in every playmaker's hands and, see what happens. But what I was thinking on that play was, what are you doing? Get down, throw the ball, do something. And he just kept, running around, like I said, looking like Frank Tarkenton and Johnny Manziel and, using his feet. And, it was an amazing play. And, my mind is going like, in the middle of it, like, what are you doing? It's one of those, no. And then, oh my God, yes. Type of play. So, you get a little frustrated with things that go on. It happens. Football's the probably one of the most emotional games, on earth. You're gonna, people get excited, people get upset, people get happy. It's football. Been around it a long time, and you can't take those things personal. And our coaching staff does the best we can, and just like the players are. So we're 4-0. Whatever we're doing is working. We're just gonna, like I said, continue to do what works for us. And if we're winning, cool. If we're losing, then we'll change what we need to do.
Yeah, and then another thing, I have on the screen just the possession time of possession for the game on Friday. And then one thing I'm also noticing is the penalties as well. That kind of stands out. 8 penalties for 104 yards. So that's another factor as well. It didn't make a big difference, but how do we clean that up going forward? Especially as we get into the league, because now the boys have had 4 games under their belt. And so just how do we clean up some of these penalties that we are experiencing, during the football game?
Honestly, in the middle of the game, I didn't realize we had 8 penalties, but I know a few of those were holding penalties, a few of those were pass interference. So those are going to be obviously the big plays. But we had a lot of inexperienced guys in the game. We had a few linemen hurt, so we're playing guys that hadn't really got a lot of time. Otherwise, defensive wise too, those penalties were mostly the younger guys. So, I think that just comes with experience and getting more reps in, and knowing what they did wrong and just fixing it. But we're not making the mental mistakes like we were last year. Like, we're not jumping off sides. We're not false starting. We know how to line up. Those type of things is what really is frustrating. But the one pass interference call could have really went both ways. He was being aggressive. It was a call the ref made. He understood what he did wrong, and he didn't get another one the rest of the game. The holding call, when you have a scrambling quarterback and you have to block a lot longer than 3 seconds, it's a lot harder for the lineman to block. So that's something obviously we can fix. And then the other one I think was a block in the back or block behind the play. The kid had, like, again, not a lot of playing time. He was just trying to be aggressive. He really didn't understand that rule. He was just doing what he's been taught to do, and that's blocked till he hears the whistle. So, that stuff I can live with. It's just the little mental errors that's frustrating. But I think we've kind of cleaned that up.
Got you. And so I knew I had a graphic, so I was able to find the graphic that Coach was talking to as we kind of spotlight the players of the game. So again, shout out to Enzo Allen, King Demetrius, Carter Schwartz, and Jack Thomas for being the MaxPrep players of the game. All right, Coach. So let's go ahead and my next segment here is the JV Spotlight. So I know we talk a lot about our varsity squad. But let's shed some light on our JV squad, what I call the future pods. So I know Coach Loftus. I've seen him back. I've seen him back on the field. So I'm taking it, just good context clue. He is one of the coaches for the JV team this year, correct?
Yeah, he's a defensive coordinator.
Okay, and then so that means we also have an offensive coordinator as well.
Yeah, Coach Padilla, the head coach, he also calls the offensive plays.
Got you. And so I know this past week they had a bye, and so I'm sure they're kind of resting on their laurels, just kind of getting ready for this Friday. Now, will they have a game this Friday against someone?
Thursday.
Or Thursday? Okay.
They play Thursday at Mary Star. Yeah.
Okay, so there you go. So those of you who are watching and curious about the JV squad, they will be playing on Thursday night. So if you can make it out there in San Pedro, then go ahead and definitely do that. All right, so let's go ahead and move right along. And we want to bring in our scouting report. And so our scouting report basically is for us to kind of take a look at our opponent, see who we're going to play, and then just the preparation for this upcoming game. So we play Mary Star of the Sea. Now, what do you know about this particular team, their style of play, if they're a running, passing team? Can you tell us anything that might help us kind of mentally prepare as supporters and parents of our boys?
Yeah, they're a balanced offensively. They're a balanced team. They run the ball. They have a good quarterback, lefty. They have a receiver that can make plays, athletic receiver. So we have to really focus on him. Excuse me. So they'll run the ball. They'll pass the ball. I'm expecting them to run the ball on us a little bit more, just because we haven't really stopped it in the past couple games. So expecting to run the ball a little bit. If we could stop their running game, I have no doubt we could stop their pass, and they won't be a high scoring game this week. So we really got to focus on that and just tackling and game tackling their running back as much as possible. Defensively, they come out in a three down, which means they'll try to stop our passing as much as possible. So we should be able to run the ball this game with three down linemen. If they stop our run, then we will continue to pass the ball. I think we've seen the same defense 4 times in a row with three down linemen, and them playing 7 guys in the back, 8 guys in a defensive back. So I expect to see the same this week. So it's nothing we haven't prepared for, nothing we haven't seen. So we'll be ready for whatever they show us.
Absolutely. So just looking at their Instagram profile preview against us, and so you can see right now they're 3-1. They're 2-0 at home, 1-1 away, and it looks like 20 scoring 28 points. It looks like they know how to score the ball, so that's something. And I was going through some of their previous scores, and they know how to score. They can find the end zone, so it's going to be a beautiful game. And again, like I say, on paper, we got this part, but again, the boys have to play. So just look at the final point total: 45 points for us per game, 28.8 for them. And so again, like you say, on any given Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, anything can happen. And so just looking at some of the stats: rushing yards per game, 60 for Pali, 91 for Mary Star. Passing yards per game, 327, 189 for them. Receiving yards, and you see theirs 190. Total yards per game, 388, 280 for them. Tackles per game, I mean, those defensive dudes are doing their thing. Sacks per game, and then points per game. And so again, this is the discrepancy I have with MaxPreps, because points per game right here is very different from what we see up here. So somewhere, I guess it would be safe to assume between 38 and 45 points is our our average. And so you got some of the guys right there: Harrison Carter, Jack Thomas. You see what they do per game, and then for those fans who are out there supporters of Pali Football, you can see who Mary Star of the Sea. You see who they depend on for all of their offense and things of that nature. So it should be a good game. I can't wait to see it. And the reason why I'm chuckling is because it'd be great if I had a dad who could fill in, because I'm gonna be in Texas visiting the kids, and so if you're a parent and you want to assume the position of helping out the Pali program. And it was very interesting last week. We had Augie's dad. He was watching, I can't remember from where, but he was watching. Seattle. That's right, because he took his daughter. So, and he said because of the live stream, he said it felt like he was right there in the midst of everything. And so that was super, super dope. So again, if you're a parent, reach out to me, because I know folks who are traveling and even alumni, they love to see Pali football on a Friday night. Amber is watching, so she says, when the chip, or she doesn't say this, but she says, hold on, let me get to my other screen here. All right. She got a lot to say. She wrote a whole paragraph. She said, that was the craziest nail-biting play of the game. We were all holding our breath and high-fiving and hugging in the stands. And I'm sure she's talking about the play with Jack running around, like you said, with Johnny Manziel or Fran Tarkenton. So that was super, super nice. Thank you for chiming in, Amber. And Amber, did you notice anything? No echo. And then Rico says, win the chip, Coach Smith. Absolutely. We're going to try to do, well, they're going to do everything that's possible for them to come out on top every single game. So appreciate you guys watching. All right, we're almost down to our few more segments of the show. And so, Coach, let me one more follow-up question about Mary Star of the Sea. Was this a game that you scheduled, or how did this game come about? Because this would normally be your bye week, correct?
Yeah, so normally we have our bye week right before our league schedule. And then we had our bye week, and then Diamond League dropped out. So we had 2 open weeks. We ended up getting Mary Star first. They could only do it this week. So we ended up just saying, we'll have our bye week early, week 4, and then play the rest of the season out. But then Diamond League dropped out. So we had that week 0 game. So we just kept. So since we didn't pick up the week 0, we picked up this past weekend. So our week 0 ended up being a bye. And then we had 10 straight games. But yeah, I reached out to Mary Star. I saw on the CIF website they had an open game. They were gracious enough to, say yes. A lot of teams, they see us and don't want to play us. Even though Camino, his coach said, we didn't really want to play you guys. So, I told him, I was like, I really appreciate you picking up this game. It was, it was important to, to play this. And, he has a young team. His team is banged up. So I understand why you didn't want to play. And which is another reason why, I kind of, rested the starters early because, you never know when you're going to be in a position like that. And,
Yeah,
you don't
yeah.
want them to run the score up on you. So I never want to do that to another team. So, again, they were gracious enough to play us this week. So, we always reach out to coaches who's open and who's willing to play us. And it's a lot of work that goes into scheduling these games. So anytime these coaches agree, it's a positive.
Absolutely. Shout out to Mary Star of the Sea. We thank you. We thank you guys for being open, and you guys have to allowing us to meet on your field in San Pedro, and I'm sure the boys will be excited because this is the last game before league play. So I know they want to go all out and do what they need to do to get ready for the Venice game, the Westchester game, and all the other folks we have to face in our league. So shout out to them. Thank you guys for picking up that game. All right, so we're almost down. Beyond the field, and so this segment is just basically a shout out to any of the parents or community members, supporters of Pali Football, who's helping, with the program. I know it probably was some work to get the boys down to the field. Was that walk? Was it walk down to the beach, or was it like a carpool, or how did that whole situation turn out in terms of actually leaving Pali and getting down to the beach?
The beach is literally 2 blocks away. We're on 2nd Street or 4th Street or something like that. So it was, 2-block walk. The hardest part was carrying the water or wheeling the water down all the way and then through the dry sand, which me and my son did. The players just kind of watched. So I'm gonna get on them about that. But no, it was a quick walk. We all walked together. And kids were ready to go. They were as soon as we got to the sand, they took their clothes off, put the shorts on, and was ready to go. So just a quick trip. And like I said, we'll be there again next Monday. I'm thinking about doing it more since we're that close. And I think, like I said, we'll do little stuff a little bit different, not a total hard workout each week, but we got the beach right there, and why not utilize it?
Yeah, no, it perfectly makes sense. And so shout out to, like I said, I took a nap this afternoon, and when I woke up, I had like at least 20, 25 notifications on Instagram. So I was like, what is going on? And so it was literally all about Pali Football being on the beach, and, the parents, talking about, hey, no field, no problem. We still gonna get this workout on. So
Yep.
it was just kind of refreshing to see, and I'm sure again, as we said at the top of the show, that the boys had a good time. It's something different, and it also proves that you don't have to have a weight room or something, a field to get ready to prepare for conditioning and get a good get a good workout in, because the beach itself it's kind of
Yeah.
like a mini workout. So shout out
Yeah.
to all the parents who kind of supported that effort.
My message to them today was no field, no excuse. So try to put that on a T-shirt or something. But
Yeah,
they did the workout. It was a tough one, and nobody made excuses. They were sweating and working hard. So like I said, it was a good workout.
well, good, well, good. So guys, if you're watching next Monday, just know where you're going to be. You're going to be right back on the beach, but this time you better help Coach out with the water. Don't just be looking, right, Coach?
Exactly. I'm exhausted in story. I barely worked out. That was a long walk with 3 5-gallon jugs of water
Yeah,
up that pier hill and down it. So
absolutely. Absolutely. Maybe next time a parent can volunteer to, throw the water in the car and just kind of make it a little bit easier for you guys. But you still got to get it across the sand. So
right, exactly.
yeah. All right, Coach. We're coming to the we're coming around to the close of the show, and this special segment is called, if I can find it, the final drive. The final drive. So, Coach, we've talked about this past this past Friday night's football game. We got the game against Mary Star of the Sea. Give us some, final comments as we wrap up the show. How excited you were about the win, and kind of excited and ready for our next opponent, Mary Star of the Sea.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, no excuses, from the kids, and they worked hard. Even if you have everything you need, 4-0 is not easy to do, to start the season. So the fact that we're 4-0 with everything that's going on is, it's pretty amazing for these kids and everybody that's worked together to make this happen. Parents, managers, the kids themselves, the coaches. It hasn't been an easy journey by any means the last couple months. So, just shout out to everybody that's been involved and helped out tremendously to make this happen. And we're just going to continue to do the same thing. Like I said, no field, no excuse. So we'll be at the beach today. We're at the beach today. We'll be at Santa Monica College tomorrow. We'll be at Airport Park the next 2 days, and then game, and then repeat again next week. Following week, we'll be at another field. So, wherever we have to be, we're going to work hard on that field and continue to, win games and, play well and, get ready for the playoffs. And like I said, to the parents, just continue to support. These kids are going through enough, hard times. So the more support we can get for them, the better. Anything negative is really going to affect the kids. So we just want to keep everything positive for these kids who, like I said, haven't made any excuses. They're working hard. They have enough pressure on them. I'm sure they're exhausted moving from field to field. So we just want to continue to be positive support and, make this run to the playoffs and to the championship.
Yeah, and with hard work and dedication, I think Mr. Mr. Devron Kearney at the top of the show, he said exactly that. 4-0, stay focused, one opponent at a time, hard work and dedication. So we're doing that, and I'm sure the boys really appreciate everything that you have done, and also the Pali QB Club as well. So other than that, Coach, you gave us our closing remarks. Just hang tight as I wrap up the show. Again, I always appreciate you. I'm hopping on, being available. And you know what? Let me just go ahead and confirm. Is 8 o'clock a good time for you to hop on the live?
Yeah, there's no more. The Raiders are on Monday night this season, so I'm available Monday nights from after practice 6 to 1.
Okay. See, I was gonna say that. I was like, okay, except when we'll give you a bye if the Raiders are playing. But okay, so hang tight in the green room, and I'll just wrap up the show.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate you, Coach. Man, so just such a wonderful opportunity this past week to be at El Camino to experience the win. I mean, 300 and something yards on 13 of 16, super dope. I'm just like, man, 3 touchdowns. Those boys, the defense, Augie and Enzo. I mean, man, they're coming ready to play. So, Mary Star of the Sea is our next opponent. It's in San Pedro, and if you check the description, I have the address in the description, in the YouTube description, for you to find out. I'm not too sure about the ticket situation. I try to find out if they have an account on GoFan, and so I'm sure the Pali QB Club will. Or the athletic department will put out information regarding ticket sales and all that kind of good stuff. Other than that, we're closing up the show. I want to thank Coach Smith again for being a part of this weekly conversation that we have having centered around Pali football. Other than that, I'm Mr. Riley. Go ahead and click the notification bell, like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. That way you'll be notified anytime we drop a brand new video. And what I'm going to do between tonight and tomorrow is upload the first and second half of the El Camino Pali football game so that you guys can kind of continue to take a look and be involved and just love on all of the Pali football players. Other than that, I'm gone. Mr. Riley coming to you live from the West Coast, the best coast, the West Side. Have a good night. We'll see you on the field on Friday, and I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got a taste for blood and my tongue keeps bleeding from the words I spit. So sharp, so freezing, so cold. Behold, frostbite they feeling. I could tear you apart or I could go heal them. Don't believe in fate, don't believe in ceilings. I just need a taste and my mind starts peeling. I don't pace myself, I grind on kneeling. Got lust for change, I just love the feeling. I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough